Not only are garage doors the largest visible component of your home, but recent studies have shown that it gets a resale value of up to 268%. Welcome to the Garage Authority podcast, powered by A1. I'm your host, Jonathan Phillips, and today we have probably the funniest, high-energy garage door technician, not only in North America, but the entire world. Without further ado, the one and only Eric Parks. And of course you did.
Dude, it didn't work, man. I'm just going to have to hold it like this now.
How you doing, dude?
I'm doing all right,
mustache.
bro. The whole joke just got blown, bro.
That's fine.
Does anybody have any glue?
It's the thought that counts.
Bro, look, I don't feel comfortable being around you without this.
Yeah?
I feel
that?
like, I don't know, less of a man.
Mine's fake.
By the way, how does this look?
It looks great.
It doesn't feel
We
good.
look related.
You think so?
I think that's why we get along so well. I just didn't realize it till now.
I'm not sure what happened to the glue. Well, that's out the window. Anyways, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm good.
Good to see you. We'll leave the mustache right here for motivation. I call it the motivation
Put
mustache
it on the
right
coffee
there.
cup so when
There
you
you
drink.
It's not even sticking. Yeah, I'm going back to Party City. We're going to get distracted.
We need to get into the sauce of why you're here.
All right.
Because I think some people know, but if you don't know who and what an Eric Parks is, and I mean what an Eric Parks is. Eric Parks is originally from San Diego.
Yes, sir.
Correct? All right. One of the biggest Sheen clothing brand, magazines, you did it all. Then finally you get into garage doors, and I heard the whispers of you all the way from Kansas City when I first joined A1 Garage. And they're like, I don't think any one client gets happier than by the end of an Eric Parks call. And so I was like, I gotta go see this guy. And I come here, and then it's not only that you've been a technician, you've done installing, you've done technician work, you've trained technicians, you've also coached technicians on the art of service and how to go through everything. You smashed basically every record and KPI that this company has to offer, and not in a nasty way to where you still have like top 5-star reviews and the customer testimonial videos where you can actually see that they're happy all the way through. Just, I want to know that journey in more detail and how that came to be. Like, how did an Eric Parks come to be the garage door expert?
Geez, there was like 6 questions in there. I mean,
I'm just excited to see you.
Yeah, bro. I'm excited to see you, brother.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you and Chauncey, on the little one. I'm ecstatic about that, bro.
Yeah, no, he's awesome.
And, geez, the journey. I mean, honestly, I found this job on Craigslist. That'll date me. Yeah, that'll date me and how old I am and how long I've been doing this. But it's funny because, like, I was only going to do it for 6 months. You know what I mean?
Just a filler job for a second.
100%. And, it was that turning point, late 20s, going on to 30. And I owned a clothing line called Belligerent Athletic Drinking Wear. It was drinking wear for the discriminating drunk, and also ran a music and lifestyle that adds content distribution called Smash Magazine. It was also bartending. It's funny because the customer interaction, like if I had somebody come to my house, I want them to not just, what's wrong, what's broken, and go straight to it, Mm-hmm. And I started doing that before it was even taught to me, And so my numbers were through the roof right off the bat. And the guy that actually trained me, Larry Emery, he had taught me a lot of that as well. And, making a friend and before just servicing the customer is huge. So, you asked like 6 questions in there, so I don't know which one I answered.
No, you definitely answered how it started and like how it makes your personality into it. I think the biggest thing is that you are mostly, from what I've seen, a new door expert.
Yeah.
And that's really why I wanted to bring you on, because yes, we do service. And then your service, when I look at those, 0 recalls, customer satisfaction, so your service is great. But a lot of people are, by request, whenever they want a new door or a quote, are saying, hey, bring out Eric Parks. And that's why today, what I wanted to go over with you is just how to choose a garage door that matches the home, since everyone seems to reach out to you whenever they're ready to get a new door. Yeah. So I guess a question getting more to that is, what's the first thing you consider when helping a client get a new garage door?
Well, it's all about the questions. Right when I pull into a neighborhood, what I'm looking for is this an HOA neighborhood? What's allowed in this neighborhood? Before I even get to the customer, Hopefully, it's not an HOA neighborhood, so we have way more options to offer them.
Right.
If it is an HOA, then finding out, the simple questions: how long are you going to live here? What do you use the garage for? Have you ever considered a steel back insulated door with insulation, considering we do live on the face of the sun
Phoenix,
for about 5 months out of the year? And it makes a huge difference. When we got our door, we got our house, it was 125. We face west, 125 degrees in the garage.
You got an at-home sauna.
It's
Get
ridiculous.
a humidifier in there and no more membership.
So summertime, 115 outside, we're in the pool. Leslie, my wife, so gorgeous, out of my league. Anyways, that one's for you, honey. Anyways, she goes into the garage because we have a refrigerator in the garage. And this is after I put the new steel back insulated door in, right? And at first she's like, do we really need that? Like it's,
Electricity bill's going to go up trying to keep it.
And so I had explained it to her, but she goes out, she gets a White Claw out of the fridge and one for me because, by the way, they are delicious. And yeah, I love White Claws. Yeah. But anyway, she comes back with the White Claws and she looks at me and she goes, dude, it's 91 degrees in our garage. And I'm like, huh? She's like, yeah, it's 115 out here, 125 in the garage last summer. It's 91.
Way better.
Yeah, it's not that I've been doing this for over a decade and a half. Like most women, they just have to see it for themselves. But she's always right, by the way.
Of course.
And she was right on that, too.
Even I know that she's always right.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, Leslie? Okay. So it's not only just asking the questions about a lifestyle, their pattern, but also what are small design touches?
Oh,
because you've gone to houses that are, in Scottsdale, you've done this in San Diego, you traveled across the country, every house and style and suburbia is a little bit different as you move east or west across this great nation of ours.
Right.
So design, how do you kind of break into that? Because some people just don't know.
Yeah, beautiful question. I'll answer kind of a few questions in that. Like if we're in an HOA, HOAs will allow handles and straps on doors. Like in my HOA,
the outer hardware for people that are listening.
Okay. Exactly. The outer hardware, it's something that you can just throw on. And as soon as I threw it on our door, our neighbors are coming over and they're like, why does your door look so much better than everybody else in the neighborhood? But that's a small little thing you can get away with.
Would you say hardware is like the mustache for your garage door?
Oh my gosh. Well, let me say it like this, John.
My wife is going to hate me for this one.
Hardware is the mustache of your garage door. Anyways, okay. But yeah, no, it's an easy way to dress up the door for a low cost and make it look different than your neighbors. Because who wants to look exactly the same? But what I think where I found my niche is, first of all, I'm a father of 4 daughters, right? If I wear a hat on the weekend, it better match my shoes, or I'll get made fun of.
Yeah.
And believe me, I've gone through that many a times where they're like, really, huh? That's the hat or those are the shoes?
I'll take it at a deeper level. I'm colorblind. My wife rips me. That's why I just buy gray and black clothes. That's all I try and wear. And my sisters would do it too when I was a kid because I'd put on a purple shirt with, some salmon pink shorts or whatever.
That's actually coming back right now.
I'm sure
So
it
I
is.
think you're in style, bro.
I haven't
Go
noticed
back to
because
it.
I can't see it.
Let Chauncey just let you run with it, bro.
Let's run with it.
Yeah. This has happened many times. Trevor Onge, who's one of our best door sales guys, saw this.
Knows his stuff.
Oh, my God. Well, he rode with me one time to one call and then has the freaking nerve to go back the next month and break my monthly record.
Yeah.
So, Trevor, how loose can I get on this? We'll just leave it at that. Anywho, not that I'm bitter, but love that guy. But we walk up to the house, contemporary house, and the customer has an idea of what they want, and they're showing me the doors. And I'll look at them and I'll go, now I like your idea, but can I show you what I think might be the perfect door for this? And what I'm looking at the trim. I'm looking at the style of the house. I'm looking at the front door, especially if it's near the garage door, right? And then I explain to the customer, I go, first of all, getting a new door is like putting lip gloss or lipstick on. And yes, I use a lot of women's analogies, if you will.
Garage door is the smile of your home.
Yeah, with lipstick. But I use a lot of that because I'm a girl dad, right? And the way I explain it to them, and especially, we know who the decision maker is. It's the woman, especially in my house. My decisions are probably way down here. The dog probably has better decisions than I do. Anyways, I told these customers, I go, look at the trim on your house. Look at the coloring that you have. Look at your front door. now let me show you something. And I went and got color samples, but I also had our product specialist do a rendering of my idea so I could present it at the same time. And
That's my favorite part.
Yes.
Is that we can do that.
the rendering. It's basically a cartoon version, but also now we're at the point to where we have real pictures of those doors installed, and I show them on other customers' house, and they're like blown away, right? And with this particular customer, I saw her when she came in. She had on a dress, she had on a belt that matched her purse, that matched her shoes. And I said, don't you want that same look on your house? And she was like, wow, most guys would not catch that. And I go, let me show you what I have in mind. And then we laid out the rendering, showed her the color samples, everything else. She looked at her husband and she goes, get me that door now.
Right.
And they were so, so happy. Just did it with a football player, actually a Kansas City Chiefs football player. Probably don't want to name drop.
Okay.
But same thing. He had a contemporary house, right? Their front door was like a satin black, if you will, with frosted glass. And then their gate.
We have one in the training center that would work for that.
Yeah. And then he had a gate that was satin black. And the trim of their house was a satin black and a white stucco. And so he thought that he just wanted to do some plain Jane black doors just to match the black. But I go, look, bro, you're putting glossy lipstick on when nothing else has that on your house. So you're going to have this door with this high shine and everything else is this satin or matte black. It's not going to go together. And he's like, okay, well, what are you thinking? And so I showed him the Clopay Lustre Black, slim, frosted windows, did a rendering, and showed him a picture of another customer's house that I did. And his first reaction was, dog, bleep, 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 bleep. Put those bleeping doors on my house now,
Right.
Yeah. And he actually texted me and wants me to come over for guys' night, so some cigars and play poker.
Well, tell him the biggest Kansas City Chiefs fan says hi.
Oh, you're going to be my date. Don't worry about that.
To it.
You and the mustache. Bring the mustache or you're not coming.
It's the rendering. That's a game changer for clients to have confidence in what they're buying. And by rendering, for those of you that don't know, what an A1 technician is able to do whenever they come out to your home, we go out to the road, we take a picture of your home, and then using a rendering, we can put the type of door styles that you like so you can get a good view of it just in case you can't imagine it. Because sometimes a little color swatch isn't quite enough.
Right.
And then also, not only do we have that, but we have probably installed that door before because a computer rendering, what you were saying to the color might be a little this. So then we can actually show it what it looks like in actual sunlight in real life. So the confidence that it gives the clients on like, this is the door, this is absolutely going to make my house look amazing. Is what makes it different.
And I don't shoot down their idea, I mean, depending on their personality, I might be like, oh, you like that? That's stupid. I wouldn't do that. And then show them my idea.
It's just giving options.
It depends on who the person is. But no, usually I say, I like the idea, but may I give my opinion? And it's just an opinion. And they're usually, you do it soft like that, and they're like, yeah, so I've been doing doors for a long time. This is just what I think you would love. Key questions is everything, or key statements, making the customer still feel in control and that they're empowered with their own decision, obviously. But you're the professional, and if you've been doing this a long time and you know what you're doing, absolutely give your opinion on it. And I think that's what sets me apart from a lot of guys and a lot of the top guys. Like Tiger, I'm sure he does the same thing because we've been doing it so long. We're confident in what we do. So giving a suggestion and taking the customer to another level, I get so many phone calls back and so many text messages after the door goes in. Because I've had some customers, I had this one lady who was a designer, okay?
Oh, now we're about to iron sharpens iron moment.
Well, she looked at me and she goes, those are really expensive. She goes, I love your idea. And this is when those Lustre Black just came out, okay? And I did it in a mosaic style. I actually did a double mosaic style on one door because she had...
So the windows going down the sides.
On both because she wanted more light for working out in there, but didn't want people to see in. So the insulated glass is actually reflective, so it works out perfect for what she was wanting, okay? And at first she wanted full views, but smoke, but then she couldn't see out. So there's all these things that just weren't making sense on what she wanted. So then I gave her my idea, and she looked at me and she goes, I better love those doors. I mean, it was kind of threatening, you know? And she called me back, and the first couple words out of her mouth were profanity. But it was in a good way, because she's like, you effing nailed it. I can't believe it, blah, blah, blah. She was so excited, and she goes, I can't believe that you did a design on my house that I love more than what my own idea was. Stuff like that just makes me feel so good.
It's having an open conversation. Some clients just don't know what's out there and what can be offered. And you know, it might be a gorgeous house. Because another thing that I see that you do is matching the garage door to the home's like actual architecture, which you brought up with the Kansas City Chiefs player, whether they have a stucco siding or maybe it's like a shingle or it's old farmhouse looking. And whenever you have those, they only have one home, and that's their perception of it. But we have the advantage of going to hundreds and thousands of homes at this company with pictures, and just to show them we'll do whatever you want.
Yeah,
but here's a home that was similar to yours, and this is what this looks like. Here's what it looks like with this option and this option. I think that's the biggest design aspect that we have an advantage of, that we want to give that advantage to our clients. Now, when is it smart to go bold, and when is it smart to blend in, do you think, considering all those options?
Depends on the house.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to go into it. I've had customers. I've gone into track homes that, they all look the same, and it's just middle-class suburbia, which what I live in.
Right.
I'm not going to put a full view on my house. And I've gone into some neighborhoods that are like that are not HOA, and they want to put a full view on. And I'm like, are you sure? But when they see that, of course I'm going to do anything the customer wants. But at the same time, I'm so confident in what I do and what I can see that I'm going to make my suggestion.
Even
and if it's something that's really not going to match,
And to talk to a client about, like, listen, this is a very expensive door, and to have the humble experience that you have to talk, like, we don't think you need that. We'll do it if you want to, but this option down here that's more affordable, this fits.
And I talked to him about, and it's not about the sell at that point, right? Because I've had people that want to put full views on it. I'm just like, can I give my honest opinion?
Right.
It doesn't match, and this is why. And then I show them this, and I go, and by the way, it's $10,000, $15,000 less. Because I'm doing what's right by the customer, and I'm doing what's right, what they're going to think in the long run. Now, at the same time, I've gone to very contemporary homes with a short panel design, and they're just like, and it's beat up, and I just want the same door. And I'm just like, well, hey, 1980s called and they want their door back. I say that all the time. They're like, what? And I'm just like, can I show you some other options? And once I do, I get them to fall in love with it. You know what I mean? Because I'm just going to tell them what I think would look best. We can do whatever you want, but I'm going to give suggestions. And then there are some customers that I go to where they already have this idea. They want a wood grain. They already got a walnut gate next to it, walnut front door, this and that. And I'm just like, you just made my job super simple, because I couldn't agree with you more. This is exactly what you should put on your house. And I get excited about it. That's the things. We're garage door dorks. And it's so funny. I know you've experienced it. Driving around down the road with Chauncey, or I'm driving with Everett or Leslie, and we're just like, oh, I did that door, and I did that door, and look at this, and da-da-da. But still, if it's changing out the door, Leslie would be like, wow, that actually looks really good. You nailed it on that house. That customer's got to be so happy.
45% of the curb appeal. And when you go to those homes, it's a diamond in the rough, to where you can, we can change the whole look, feeling, vibe, depending on your age and language.
Yeah. Well, I did a house this week down the road from one that I sold earlier this year. So we went to go do service, and it's out there in Sun City West, and there's no HOA, right? And this lady thought she wanted some doors, but they were painting their house this kind of, oh my gosh, it's kind of a driftwood color, right?
Okay.
So I actually showed her the plank doors in the driftwood with slim windows with the frosted glass, because they were changing their front door to that as well. And once I did that, she was just like blown away. Needless to say, she got the doors. Okay, we drove past and I got to see them, and even my trainee that was with me was like, "Holy smokes, those doors look so good on the house. It stands out from everything else on the block."
Right.
Now, hopefully, that's setting an example to the other neighbors, to where they realize, wow, 40% of my curb appeal, the smile of my home, is a big, big part of the house, right? But I asked the customer that we went to that was just 3 doors down and across the street. I said, what do you think of those doors down there? He goes, I don't like them. And I wasn't expecting that. And I go, you don't like them? He goes, well, I mean, they're gorgeous and they look great. He goes, the rest of our houses look like complete garbage compared to theirs.
Right.
And I was like, well, I can get you those doors. And he's like, yeah, I just got these doors a couple years ago. I'm like, yeah, call me if you change your mind. And he might be considering it, just because they have the best looking house on the block,
But
their house looks like everybody else's, but it's their doors that make their house look like the best house on the block.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, the final piece to this, and maybe it could be a little horror story. What are the biggest design mistakes? We've had a lot of stories about you being there as a consultant and an expert to where, we went in this direction. Any stories about whenever they have like the biggest design mistakes that they actually went through and regretted later and maybe didn't quite understand ROI or that, the pop of the house on the block that we've been talking about? Because not every decision that's made is good, whether it was they decided to go somewhere else or they just didn't want to listen.
Well, it was back to that. The full views again. Mm-hmm. Full views are for certain houses, man. Yeah. That is plain and simple. They look, nothing could look better on a certain house, or honestly, nothing could be more stupid looking.
Right.
And just staying how it is, bro. And I did have a customer. They were hell bent on, the satin black frame with frosted glass on a full view. And I'm looking at their house and I'm like, I tried to tell them, I was like, you're not going to like these. And they faced east. Yeah. And he was talking about how hot his pan door was and this and that. And I go, so I tried to tell him, you're losing ROI. This is the direction I would consider, Nope. He put it on, hated it. Called me, and he wasn't blaming the company, but he goes, you were right. He goes, this doesn't match he goes, now I have to change the whole freaking look of the front of my house.
Right.
And the rest of it, I got to change out my front door. I got to add this color paint. I got to do this. I got to do that. Might even have to change the roof to match his garage door. And he said it's hot as hell in the summertime because he wanted to be cheap and not get insulation. I educated him as much as I can, and sometimes you just can't change a customer's mind. He was pissed at himself, not pissed at me, not pissed at the company. I gave him what he wanted, but I also gave him many options and many reasons why he shouldn't do that. So I told him, I said, hey, you know what's cheaper than changing the whole look on your house?
The garage door.
Let me come back. Let me come back, bro.
All right. So to summarize everything we went over today, we were going over picking a new door, HOAs, what we can do with renderings, what we can consider with design, the good and the bad on client decisions, and the fact that we're going to give options. And then also, was there anything else that you would consider letting clients know before door design and picking a new door?
Absolutely. I mean, nobody thinks about their garage door until it doesn't work, right? Or nobody thinks they need to replace it. Most people, unless they're thinking about a design to change, and those are the people that are easier to work with. But somebody's door, if it's all banged up, right, and they're making this big investment, and I ask them, is this the forever home? They're like, yeah, I'm getting buried in the backyard, which is a whole nother conversation. But I go, you might want to consider looking at some different designs because you're investing money into your home, which is 40% of your curb appeal, and you're going to be here for the next 20 years plus, whatever it may be. Like, you might want to consider going a different direction, more of a curb appeal pop, like you would say, And that's when I can change a lot of customers' minds because they're going to think more about that when they're doing their remodel on their kitchen or bathroom, right? Oh, I got to stare at this for the next 20 years. Same thing about your garage door. Right. Except you see your kitchen and bathroom. Everybody that drives by your house sees your garage door. When you tell them that, then they're like, never even thought of it like that. And I go, that's why I'm a genius.
You are.
I don't exactly say that, but just saying. But, once again, making suggestions. It's that simple. You're the professional. Be the professional. If you have an idea of what would look better on their house, let them know. Because I'm telling you, I change a lot of people's minds. And I have never had a customer call me back upset. They're raving about spending a little bit more on a better design that makes their whole house updated, look newer and better, and their neighbors jealous, especially that guy Rick across the street.
A tale of caution for all of you out there. Well, Eric, it's been absolutely fantastic having you on. I hope to get to have you back very soon. And, of course, we need to go out and see some of these MMA fights together at some point, yeah?
Well, absolutely, buddy. Always good to see you, brother.